Well, with Merle here about to be a usable rig again, I kind of want to go wheeling at night. So that presents us with a problem. I don't know about you, but I don't see that great in the dark. So that gives us three options of varying degrees of effectiveness. Number one, you drive by Braille, right? Cruise around in the dark, hope for the best. Don't really advise that one, but you do you. Option number two, get your buddy to hold a flashlight. That'll work in a pinch, not really that sustainable. Option three, my personal favorite, and what we're going to do with Merle today, is you install you some rock lights. Since we've established that we're going to be going with option three, installing rock lights, let's run you down what we've got and how we're going to put them on. First of all, they need to be powered, so you need a way to turn them on. You either need a switch panel or you're going to need to wire in a relay and a switch. We're not going to cover that in this video because I already have two videos covering that. We've got a video on installing the switch panel in Merle, and we've got a video on how to install individual toggle switches and relays on the orange dually. Those will both be linked in the description for you. You can go check out which option is going to work best for you. At the end of the day, as a synopsis real quick, neither one's better than the other. It's just a matter of what's going to work best for you. So for me, for this truck, obviously I went with the switch panel. Anyways, we're going to install these rock lights. They're RGB, so they can change colors. They come with multiple mounts. You've got a soft mount for a roll cage, and then you've got a soft mount that's flat. And then for mounting on my truck, I made some aluminum tabs that mount like so, right? Your guy mounts to that. It's got a hole for the wire to fit through, and then you can bend this arm to angle your light however you need it. And then these all plug into your controller. This controller can either work with a remote, or I believe they have an app for your phone. So your lights hook up to this through these connections. These are like IP68, I think, 67 or 68, waterproof. They go together, you thread them, they lock in, and then you have your control box. That's what reads on that. So we're going to get started putting these on the truck. I'll bring you along and show you the best way that I've found to install things like this on your truck. So the first step is figure out where you want to put your lights. So for Merle here, I got a 12 light kit. We're going to go in our fender wells, front and rear. We're going to do a light behind here on each side, one in the middle, and then one off the inside of this bumper shining down, so we'll have real good light coverage down the side. And then I'm going to do the last two lights somewhere in the middle to give us light underneath there. That way, you know, if someone's spotting you, you can see what's going on underneath the truck really clear, and hopefully that'll give us adequate light. Let's get to it. All right, so this rear is a little tricky. I haven't finished making my rear bumper yet. I want the roll cage to be done first. I know I'm going to tie this outer bar into the frame somewhere. And then this is the bottom of the roll cage plate here. This plate's going to tie into that bumper, into the frame. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to run this right over into here and make a plate that sandwiches on my rear shock mount. And then this will kick over and tie into that. So this area right here is going to be my spot. So I think what I'm going to do, well, not I think, I am going to. I'm going to put my corner lights right here. So right up behind this, in line with my roll cage. And then for now, because there's a plate right here, if you have one of these, it just bolts in. So I'm going to self-tapper my bracket to that plate. I'll get in there, self-tapper. And then we can just run this and secure it along here. But we're gonna get all these corners. There we go. So we're gonna get all these corners all the way around first. So that way I can run this along there, or if I wanna come over and up, we'll just see where all of these meet the best. That's gonna be the safest location for that little control module, and keep trucking along. So on the front here, I'm gonna go right to this inside support bar on both sides of my bumper. So we are gonna use the round ones, set them up on there, and then self-tapper them straight to the roll cage, or to the bumper. Yeah, don't worry. You're not the only person that drops screws in your face when you're doing this stuff. I think while I'm at it, I'm going to mount my front middle one too. I was going to do one right here to be like a mid-light and shine down on the middle. So I'm going to set that one up real quick too. Alright, so you can see I just bent it a little bit more than 90. I'm going to tuck this guy up right up in here. I think that'll be adequate light. I know this hangs down a tiny bit from this cross member, but if I'm hitting this cross member, I'm in something deep, because there's going to be my skid plate here, which is below that, so not too worried about it. Alright, now we're going to undo all these cables, see where it's convenient for all of them to meet up. Alright, so one thing to think about when you're putting these in your wheel wells is you can't be having cables going all around in here, or you're going to have to be worried that they're going to catch your tire when you're turning. So I'm going off of this center bolt for the inner fender, see right there, and then 3.5 inches in, and drilling a hole that's bigger than the hole in my gasket, and my lights are going to go right there. That way my little bumper pad here acts as a gasket on that hole, so I don't need to worry about that hole cutting the wire. This rear one I'm going to do out towards the edge here, and then I'll secure the cable to the edge right there where it's not going to hit, because there's no point in drilling a hole here and then running it on the inside just to go back outside. Then I got extra cables inside, blah blah blah. So alright, well, after getting all these lights on, I was thinking of keeping this in the cab, and pretty much no matter what, my 4 corners, no matter where I put this, aren't all going to reach the same place at once. So I need to they make extensions for these to lengthen them out, and I want to keep this waterproof, so I'm not just going to cut it and do it. They're pretty cheap, and that way it's all just plug and play. Keep it simple for once. So we're going to mount this in the engine bay back up here. So we're going to tie it in. We're going to tie it into my control box, and this is why, like on this truck, I like this thing, because all I need to do is hook my positive and my ground up to the right size fuse, because there's 2 5s, 2 10s, 2 20s, and 2 30s. So all I need to do is hook this into the right ones, and then all my front lights will reach this. I'm going to kind of hide all my wiring up in this corner here for now. All of that will reach this. I ordered the extensions. They'll be here tomorrow morning, and then I can hook the rear ones up, and we'll be golden. I have 12 lights, and they have a 10 to 14 amp draw. So to figure out your fuse size, kind of the rule of thumb is you take your total draw, your total load at the max, and then you divide it by how many volts your system is. So your 14 times 12 divided by 12, because it's 12 volts, you're right back to 14. This doesn't have a 14. I've got 10s and 20s. So I'm going to put it in the 20 with the 15 fuse. And of course, when you're hooking stuff up to fuses, make sure your power's off. My battery's already disconnected because I've been welding, and you can't weld with your battery hooked up. So let's put the positive and the negative in their respective homes. Tighten these back down. There we go. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to grab a fuse. I'll swap this out for a 15 because that should be the correct size fuse. And we're good. Then I can remount this box and start plugging lights in. So it's just going to be run it cleanly, secure it, plug it in. Run it cleanly, secure it, plug it in. Run it cleanly, secure it, plug it in. And then when I get the extensions tomorrow, we'll plug the back ones in, test her out. All right, well, we're all done, so let's check it out. I'll kick the lights on tonight once it gets dark and we can actually see them really good. But right now, we'll kind of go over how everything's routed and installed now that it's all the way in there. Ignore the slightly not the greatest wiring under the dash or under the hood. The deal is, as soon as Merle's wheelable again, the next project after that is going to be to add dual batteries. And at which point, this whole engine bay is going to get cleaned up. So they're organized, they're just kind of all wrapped up together and tucked away in a corner so that when we do that and I go through and do all that, I can route everything all nice and spiffy at that point. I'm not spending a bunch of time doing it right now. Like I said, everything's just kind of tucked up and zip tied and tucked away in that corner because we're going to rewire all of this when I add the second battery in the factory location right here. So we're all ran off our panel. Then we've got, we'll start in the middle. We got our light here off of this cross member to flood that area. We've got our light off the frame, or off the bumper for that area. Inside the wheel well. In the middle. In my wheel well up here. And this wire is ran, as you can see, down along here over. Everything from the back kind of converges right here and then runs with this factory harness up the frame and then like picks up that wire as we go and all that. And then in the back, we're right there. And then that's repeated on both sides, right? We're there. We're in the wheel well, wired down, and then across with the Stealth onboard air system. And then it all goes together and shoots to the front. We've got the bottom. We got our wheel well here. Our front light here. And that's all tucked in with all these wiring and lights and stuff. And that runs along here. And then in and then back to the front. So when it gets dark, we'll throw all the lights on and show you how they look. Well, if I'm going to be honest, I'm a little underwhelmed. I mean, functionally they work great, right? They all turn on, they switch colors, the remote works, the app for the phone works, you can scroll through it. But at the end of the day, like the white isn't a pure white, right? It's got the mix of colors in there. Makes sense, it's an RGB LED setup. And they're really not as bright as I was hoping for. I don't know how well they're going to work as actual like rock lights trying to wheel over stuff in the dark. I do think that they'll be really cool like cinematically, right? Like cruising through the snow, got like some teal light bouncing up off the snow onto the stainless exhaust and stuff. Like that'll be cool. My daughter loves them. Probably be nice like if we're out camping to kick the red light on so it doesn't mess with your night vision and you can see around the truck. So they are still usable. I'll give them a fair shake and do some night wheeling and see how they are, but I really don't think they're going to be bright enough. So try them out. If I need to, I'll add in some different just pure white like spot beam style lights under there to get better at night wheeling light. But I'm going to give those a fair shake first. We'll see. So next video will be one of two things. We're either going to be the stainless exhaust episode finally, or I have a video that one of you guys requested in the comments a couple videos back. It's really just going to depend on if I'm able to get the exhaust all the way done this week, because I want it to be one episode, not half done and then another episode of it done. I want start to finish stainless exhaust, one episode. So remember, if you don't get started trying stuff out, seeing how it works, you never get finished. Party mode.